Three, two, one.
What is going on, Southwest ISD? What is going on? Your two favorite men here at Southwest ISD are back with you. This is Scoreboard. I am Brandon Medina. That is your athletic director, the one and only. You love him or you hate him, Mr.
Easy,
Peter
man.
Wagner. Depending on if he was your coach or not.
That's true.
Fair enough.
It's fair
Not
enough.
everybody looks fondly
Yeah.
on running hills, sir, every day. But with that, how are we doing, sir?
We're doing great.
Nice.
It was, congratulations on a great convocation yesterday.
We had a fun time, man. It was good.
You did a good job.
Yeah, the voice is hoarse, but man, we got that place rocking.
Yeah, it was good.
it was-
Kudos to Crewald Elementary and Rosie and
How
those
about them?
dude, that
Full
was
drum.
I was right behind him. I was like, all right, we're jamming. Let's go.
Yeah, their chants were fun. They had the
they were
full
on
drum.
point, man. I
I-
was like,
I-
dang.
I remember just locking eyes with Dr. Ball. Like I didn't plan for Southwest and Legacy to go at each other like this. They just kind of went. I had to let it just roll. But yeah, I mean, it was fun. We also got to recognize a lot of great community members and Dr. Keith and Sherry Byram.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Carr Hornbuckle, of course, got another friend, and then we had a great pillar, of course, and then we had a Lifetime Achievement Award for Miss Mary Castro, which is awesome. She's been there, still subbing after all these years.
Right.
A lot of great recognitions. It was a fun time. We had 2 balloon drops, which was cool at the end too, so that was a cool little touch. It was fun, man. I'm glad. But
I
now,
like Tim Elmore. Tim Elmore
Elmore
is
was
a
great.
lot like what we're about in athletics.
That's
all
right.
That kind of stuff.
yep, I knew you
Good
guys were gonna
stuff.
like him.
Yeah.
I know you guys saw a little bit of him at the Admin Retreat too.
Yeah.
But he's a great speaker, great message, all that good stuff. Yeah. So I mean, convocation is done, which means we are now one step closer. The last step, literally a tiny little step.
Yep. A weekend away.
A weekend away to a new school year. What does that kind of mean for athletics? What does that mean for you as kind of athletic director? Is it time to kind of kick it into full gear? You guys already there? What do you
Well,
think?
you look at today's kind of one last day to everybody get their ducks in a row and stuff. But tomorrow is a busy day. We start out tomorrow with 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock. The JV and freshmen are at Gus from Southwest High School scrimmaging against Holmes, and then at 9 o'clock the varsity rolls, and then you got right after that the Dragon and Titan volleyball teams are rolling into SAISD for volleyball tournament and stuff from after last week's tournament at Harlandale, and then right after that you head on over to Legacy at 5 o'clock or at 6 o'clock tomorrow night, and the Titans are back at it scrimmaging the Somerset Bulldogs right down the road and everything, getting ready for another set of Bulldogs the next week and stuff
Man.
in Burbank. So tomorrow's gonna be fast and furious, and then at 4 o'clock, I forgot, at 5 o'clock the Dragons and the Titans are all playing water polo right before that against Highlands.
It's a
So
busy
all
time.
day. It's about 8 to 9 o'clock tomorrow night.
Goodness
Tomorrow,
gracious.
the whole time. It's an awesome day
Man.
and stuff.
Water polo kicked off already, so that's going to be exciting. to
And
look
you know
to
what? I
look
forgot. We start off with cross country on Saturday
at. Man.
in Floresville, 7:30 in the morning.
Oh, you going to be there at the 7 a.m., sir, running your own?
Negative Ghost Rider.
All right, sounds
That
good.
pattern's full. Full of sleep.
Full of sleep. I will say, man, it feels the last few weeks of summer, I felt like they have just really been slowly moving. And then when we get into the year, I feel like we're gonna blink and it's gonna be Christmas time. We're gonna blink and it's gonna be graduation. Stuff moves fast and furious
how it
once
works.
we get going. But we're excited to welcome.
I'll be happy when it cools down, man.
Yeah, goodness gracious,
107 today.
dude, ridiculous.
Fantastic.
Me and
Than like living in a microwave.
I went to a missions game yesterday, or the Flying Chanclas, whoever you decide to cheer for, whichever. But I went to the game yesterday with Go Public, who's a great partner of us for the district, and me and my mom went, and yeah, we stayed 5 innings. And it was at 7 o'clock, and I was like, after the 5th inning, I was like, we got to get going. This is a little hot, and we were in the shade, so it's the heat is here, man. But tell you what, those football players out there, our drum majors and our band. All those guys are really dealing with it, from everybody from cross country, everybody from track and field. I mean, it is an intense time.
Kudos to our coaches and trainers doing everything they can to. I mean, they're up at the crack of dawn trying to get everybody to practice so we can, and thanks to Dr. Ball and senior staff and everybody for, letting our coaches conduct practice in the mornings to have the safest environment for our kids
Absolutely.
to do that stuff. So we really appreciate their support and that kind of stuff because that doesn't happen everywhere.
No, yeah, absolutely. A big shout out to them. I distinctly remember listening to Kenny Chesney's Boys of Fall every day and just sweating
Man,
every
I remember
bean
Ryan
and cheese
Bernal would be
taco
like,
that I have
"Coach,
in my system.
come on.
Yeah,
can we not
everybody
get
was
another
like-
song?
I was like, Coach Wagner, do you have the free Spotify that only plays this one? This is just it's just this song over and over. The Boys of Fall, Kenny Chesney. I can tell you one song that isn't on Brandon Medina's playlist after hearing it so many times. But it is it's an intense time, and I know you spoke with trainers. Big shout out to the trainers. We will have 2 videos coming out for Beyond the Arches, another series that I do, and that's going to be highlighting our Southwest ISD training staff, both at Legacy and Southwest. So definitely going to be a fun time. That'll probably come out here in about 2 weeks, and then. Speaking of football, we talked to Fabian Ramos over at Legacy. So we'll be getting them started, and we'll push that out. That video will be coming out this week, so make sure you check that out for social media. Beyond the Arches, focusing on Legacy football, and Fabian Ramos. And then
What a leader, man! I saw him yesterday
dude.
when taking up peanut butter with the rest of the legacy football players and Coach Flores,
Yeah.
and Coach
So
Bruce and
I-
those guys. And,
I spoke with Coach
you know?
Bruce and a couple of coaches there at Legacy, and even at Southwest. I was talking to a bunch of the coaches because a lot of them, obviously, I'm at the age now where a lot of my peers are now coaching
Mhm.
and now teachers and stuff like that. And so I was talking to Dela Cruz over at Legacy with the linemen and stuff, and I was just like, "Hey, where's the Brandon Medina in here, bro? The one that's like maybe not the best, but has that heart." And he was, "Oh, yeah, let me find him for you." But overall, I think I was telling them these kids. I don't know if it's you tell me. I think it's a good conversation to have. These not even just kids, these young adults, they almost seem so much more prepared for interviews nowadays. I don't know if it's because you're seeing more interviews on social media and you're seeing every aspect of an athlete's life now more than you probably were when I was in school or you were in school, of course. And so, I mean, you're seeing the interviews of Kevin Durant, the Steph Currys, Draymond Greens. You're seeing the interviews of the Justin Jeffersons and all those. And I think you're starting to see how it can go sideways when you have a bad interview versus a good one.
Mhm.
Because a lot of these kids were really well prepped for the questions that we were going to be asking.
I think we talked about that last week too. Remember? Because I remember the Caesar Serrano.
yeah, where he
comparison,
just,
right, where he's just like, yeah,
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. No.
yes.
Well, that dude's
Caesar
head,
Serrano kill quarterback.
yes, the dude's head was rattled from just killing people. But yeah, I mean, they're just so prepped. And Fabian Ramos did a great interview again. That's coming out this week. And then we also got with Tristan Denny, who's a personality in and of
That
himself
dude's
at
awesome,
Southwest. And so, I mean, he hypes up everybody he's around. So Tristan's going to be on the interview for Southwest High School. That'll be coming out next week. And also Vincent Fedoric is going to be on there too. So that's going to be a fun one. And Southwest High School will be at home next week to start the football season.
Mhm.
For you as a coach, now you're, of course, athletic director, right? You're the suit and tie fancy guy now.
I think there's a lot of people who disagree with the suit and tie fancy
But-
guy thing.
But taking yourself back when you were the head football coach, would you rather start your season at home or away? Do you rather want to go in the trenches a little bit away and see how they can handle it, or do you think playing at home kind of favors your team more?
Okay, so as a coach, as a head coach, I think if you talk to me or Coach Bruce or Coach Franco or just about any football coach, we would tell you I prefer road games. There's far less like responsibility. All I got to do is get
Far less responsibility.
all I have to do is get people on the bus, show up, and let's go play some football. You know what I mean? And home games, you got to make sure all the operations, which is what I try to make. I can take off their plate. You know what I mean now. But when it comes to playing in front of your home fans, when it comes to more people are going to show up and watch, and you got all of those types of things. Yeah, it's a lot better. And whether you're playing at Legacy or you're playing at Southwest, just being able to walk out of your locker room and this is my home, all that kind of stuff like that. The old Under Armour protect this house business, that's a big deal. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I would tell you they probably, unless you're going to the Alamo Dome or something like that, or playing in a big stadium, it's probably it's a heck of a lot better than get on a hot bus for the next anywhere between 20 minutes and hour to 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I enjoy the away games as a player just because the camaraderie you really get to see on the bus, especially
Yeah.
if you're going to like a Laredo or
Mhm.
Corpus was always a fun trip. I remember you
Was
showed
it?
it. Yeah, no kidding. But I remember you showed us. You showed us Friday Night Lights, and some of us had never seen it on the way to Corpus, and then we were like,
So tragic.
and we were like so hyped up, and we were like, dude, we're having a great season right now. This is like I was a junior. You had just brought me up to varsity, and season number like nutso, and I was like, this is a weird buzz. But I remember watching Friday, and some people hadn't seen it.
You got to watch your toes on those
Yeah.
buses because there's people sleeping on the floor
Yeah,
and like
it's all over the
rolling
place.
all over. Yeah.
But I remember we were watching the movie, and at the end they lose, and I was like, "Why are you showing this? This is like the worst thing." But those
right.
were fun trips, and then you get cold water burger after.
Yeah.
Two sandwiches.
Two trip stories real quick. So first, and they're both with Coach Elliott. So the first one, we're going down to Laredo. I think we're gonna play Alexander. And if there are some old dudes that are listening to this, you need to start listening because you'll remember this big time. Coach Elliott said let the kids choose the movie, and we watched some Will Ferrell when he's an
Nice.
ice skater.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
Yes,
So
Blades of Glory.
Yes, we watched that ridiculousness and stuff on the way down there and everything. And I think this was Steven Salinas' like senior year. And so we go down there and we like play like absolute doggy doo-doo for like an entire half and everything. And so Coach Elliott like kicks a trash can, almost breaks his leg and everything because it had rollers on it. So he kicked it and almost went out, to which everybody started laughing at him and everything. And we played better after that. But I mean, I guess he had to be his own. The next one, same season, I think, we're playing Eagle Pass. And Eagle Pass wins like second year of existence on a Saturday on the last weekend of the season. And we get done, and we took like our JV team, and I think our JV team scored like 3 touchdowns on them. And so everybody's chilling because we're getting ready to go to the playoffs. And then so we all get on the bus, and Coach Elliott decides that his daughter, so my daughter Hannah and Zach and his daughter gets on the bus, and they're like, all right, Lauren, you get to choose a movie that we all get to watch for the next 2 hours on the way home. So she's like, "Oh, Dad, I got it.
In
It's
the
right
dead
here.
of night.
I got the DVD right here in my back. I got the DVD right here in the. Oh, it was like 2:00 in the afternoon.
Oh.
So I got the DVD right here. So Coach James walking on the bus, and she goes, "Here, Dad, it's Beverly Hills, Chihuahua." Yeah,
That's
man.
what y'all watched,
I was like, come on, man.
That was your version
Yeah,
of Kenny
all-
Chesney's
all
Boys
of a
of
sudden-
Fun.
and that was before you could watch your TV on your phone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you were
So-
stuck. You're
so
stuck.
Everybody just stuck watching Beverly Hills Chihuahua because Lauren decided that's what
That
we
is
needed to watch.
hilarious.
I was like, oh,
You got to keep them hyped up. Beverly
yeah,
Hills
man.
Chihuahua's
So,
the way.
Behind the scenes story right there. But anyway,
Nice.
hey, I want to give a shout out real quick so we can change the page and move on. You talked about the 3 people who gave you some feedback at Traders Village. Last week and everything. So we got a hardcore listener, man. Andy De La Rosa
Yeah.
is my guy. He's like, he texts me. He's like, "Hey, I'm one of those 3." And I was like, "Whoa, one of those 3? What?"
You were like, what are you
I was like,
talking
what
about?
Are we talking about? And he's like, "I'm one of those 3 listeners
thinking it's a threat?
at Traders Village." I was like, "That's what I'm talking about, Andy. Let's
Yeah.
go." Andy is awesome, by the way. Big shout
Yes.
out to Andy, the listener. But Andy's the water polo guy that works at the table. He's at all of the ticket booths. Like this thing don't run without Andy De La Rosa. So
Yeah.
big,
Another
big pillar of the community right there.
Yeah, another few. Our boy David Ellis is also a big listener and supporter, and he's on
Yep.
Education Foundation and a
Yep.
coach now, of
Yep.
course. And then I know the other
Speaking
one.
of quarterback mentality that Tim Melmore was talking about yesterday,
Yeah.
I was talking to Trey Arena right now, and he's like, "Yeah, that dude is like exudes quarterback mentality, like head in the clouds." And I was like,
Yes.
"Yes, that is David Ellis."
David Ellis is like literally he's down for whatever. He's telling
Yep.
and then the one big one that I know I want to get on the show. I already put an invite out. And hopefully he doesn't pull a Chief Palomo and make us wait like 3 months to get on the show. But no shots at Chief. I told him yesterday he has
Man,
to talk
that's
soccer.
early already.
I'm telling you,
on the
second
shots
show,
to
shots
man.
to Chief
Yeah,
already.
shots.
But I know I invited now board trustee, Mr. James Gonzalez, who
Oh,
listens to
yeah.
the show quite
Yeah.
a bit, and he's
Yeah.
always like, I
That's
love your
the
stuff.
voice of SWISD.
I told him, I said, hey, the first game's next week. Next week would be a perfect time to get the voice of
There you go.
Southwest on,
There you go.
on
Amen.
scoreboard. So
I want to get him. I want to get the 2 James board members in here talking. I want James Sullivan,
Sullivan and James
the
Gonzalez.
the head cheerleader and
Yeah.
the voice of Southwest ISD.
We're gonna have
That
to.
would be fun.
Who knows if it even is talking about sports at that
yeah.
point? And then we're gonna have to pod
I'm pretty
my
sure
boy
we
Sullivan's
won't
mic
even need
down.
to show down. We wouldn't
Yeah.
need just all you got to do is tee it up, and
Yeah.
the rest would be taken
I'll
care
be like,
of.
Mr. Sullivan, I'm not even gonna give you a mic. We'll hear you on the. We'll just hear you over the
We
rest
need to
of
do it on Thursday so we start getting them fired up for Friday night.
He gets so hyped up,
Yeah.
man. With that though, so let's talk a little bit about. You mentioned there's a lot going on with tennis as well, cross country. What are the kind of your expectations for? I mean, cross country set a lot of big, not lines, but they definitely set a standard for what the district is looking to expect in the future. And there's a lot of young talent
Yeah.
that now is going to be seniors and leaders.
Yeah.
What are kind of your expectations?
I think that obviously it's Legacy is the cream of the crop right now with Anthony, and they got a couple of girls that are going to be really good this year, and so you're sitting there. They obviously are there, but really excited about Coach Amares and what she's going to build at Southwest as well. They went from 12 kids on the first day. They're close to 30 out for cross country right now.
Man,
And so, looking forward to a lot of that. I mean, I was talking to the assistant at Legacy yesterday, and she's like, "Yeah, Anthony has, like, we're planning on going to state. Like, it's not like it's a disappointment if he does that. I mean, you look at it last year, he would have placed in the top 5 in every other classification to include 6A except 5A.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And so just getting stronger, knows what he's doing and everything else like that. So excited about that. But like I said, I want to talk a little bit about what went on last week, a little, give it a little scoreboard update and things like that, what's going on. Volleyball was in was at the Harlandale tournament. Legacy's coming around, man. I'm excited about what we're going to see at Legacy in volleyball. I think they're really going to compete
Yeah.
and really be up there and stuff. They beat Southside, a district opponent. Really smoked them in the third game. Like they're the better team. They got
Mhm.
they got about 2 or 3 outside hitters that can really put it down and stuff. And then so they lost to Holmes in a close 3. They beat Southside. Every game they played was close. You know what I mean? And got some wins. So I'm excited about them. The Dragons went out and made it to the gold bracket. They lost to the undefeated, currently beat Brandeis. I think the last couple days they lost to Brennan in 3 games.
Okay.
And so went and watched them against Jefferson on Tuesday. And there's some really good things to look for. We talked about the player of the week last week in Addison Bartlett, and man, she's good. And they got people around her that can really do some things. So I'm really excited about what's going to go on in volleyball season.
Man.
Water polo. Next week, at the end of next week, we got a water polo tournament with people coming in from Austin and the Valley PSJA, North PSJA, and so really excited about seeing a few of those games. And as we compete and go through water polo season, and then tennis, the Titan tennis team we talked about last week, they picked up another W against Taft, beating them 14 games to 5. They had a tough one yesterday morning. We moved that game to the morning so everybody didn't melt. And they lost to Divine, but Divine's tough.
Well, that's what I was going to say, man. Tennis is one of those sports that I feel like, we definitely want to highlight as many sports as we can in this show. And tennis is one that, man, talk about a conditioning type of game where
Mhm.
you are playing in most of the time a blistering heat.
Yeah.
And also the conditioning for it is crazy. I mean, the practices itself are going to be really intense.
Yeah.
It's one of those sports where there really isn't a way to walk through for tennis.
No.
You got to kind of
There's
go
no-
at it.
That's what we were talking about, the heat in tennis. People don't realize it's tennis. It's like, no, it's 104 right
Yeah.
now. And then
And
on
they're
the
going full
court,
speed.
and then on the court, it's like 120.
Yep.
And then there's no halftime. There's no
Yeah.
like
Breaks.
you get like
Yeah.
a 2-3 minute break between games or sets and stuff
Mhm.
like that. But those sets can last 2 hours.
Yeah.
That's one. Then you got to come back and play another one, a singles match. So they're
Yep.
playing 2-3 hours sometimes, and in the heat. So
Well, and that's what I'm
it's
saying.
legit.
I mean, in basketball, in baseball, in football, you can kind of go through a little walkthrough drills. Like,
Yeah.
hey, you know what?
Mhm.
Like football, when it's blistering hot like that, you guys would be like, hey, the greatest days, helmet, and then just shorts and shorts, or just going through walkthroughs, whatever. Okay,
Mhm.
cool. there's no walkthroughs in tennis. You
No.
can't learn unless you're
Yeah.
going full speed.
Yeah, exactly.
So intense
Yeah.
stuff, but we want to give our
Mhm.
best to our tennis teams.
So they
and-
did really well last week.
All right, good.
And so we're looking forward to the Dragons and them continuing their streak like we talked about last week too. But going on to this week, the volleyball team, both volleyball teams are SAISD. They
Nice.
both got big wins. Southwest just took care of business against Jefferson on Tuesday, and Legacy a full clean. Both groups, Southwest ISD won at every single level against Jefferson and Lanier.
Nice.
From freshman, JV, and varsity, every single one of them didn't even lose a game and
Nice.
stuff. So we were what does that make us 6-0,
Yeah.
something like that. So kudos to them, and they're going to SAISD this weekend. They'll be there, and you got, like I said, cross country tomorrow, and then the football team's going at it on tomorrow morning and evening.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff to do around Southwest ISD and athletics this next week.
Yeah, we got, like I said, guys, make sure to tune in to Beyond the Arches, the other program I like to produce and help out with here at the communications team. We have Fabian Ramos going out this week. So to give a little teaser, let's hear from Fabian Ramos just a little bit right here. Alrighty, we are here with senior Fabian Ramos, a leader on the Southwest Legacy team. What does that feel like, man, going into your senior year, a leader, a guy that had a great year last year? What's kind of your expectations for this year?
It's a big responsibility. You're going to have a team to look out for. I mean, it's a young team, so you're going to have to teach them well, make sure everybody's here ready to go Monday.
Yeah. And what does this team kind of mean to you? What are you starting to see with this team? How are you guys kind of growing together, meshing together?
Well, it's definitely a new family, a brotherhood building, so we're going to go out there and just do our thing.
Awesome. And so with that, what are kind of your personal goals and expectations as a player and as a team and as a leader here?
Just continue to be a leader, make sure everybody's doing their job because everybody depends on each other. So.
And so from an education perspective too, man, how has Southwest Legacy as a school and as the camaraderie with the student body kind of helped uplift this team and kind of help support you as a student athlete?
I mean, teachers, staff, all them, they're big help. Support systems there, so it gives us a motivation. So.
Alrighty, that's going to be coming out here shortly. Fabian Ramos, a big shout out to him. And then we have Southwest High School next week as well. Just to give a little teaser to our boy Tristan and Vincent, who we got to interview. Let's hear a little bit about their expectations for the year. Alrighty, we are here with Tristan from the Southwest High School football team. How are we excited, man, for this new year of football season?
We're joyful. We're excited. We're blessed to be here. I know my coaches are awesome and outgoing about this year. We're excited. Our future's bright, and we're just living it all up to God.
Absolutely. So talk to me about your coaches, man. What have they kind of really helped teach you guys and help with leadership and all that good stuff?
When it comes to leadership, I know Coach Franco prays accountability and taking charge of something that you want and choose, and we all have a choice to be accountable and hold ourselves and each other accountable.
Absolutely. Talk to me about how Southwest as a whole, as the school, the teachers, the staff, all the people around you has really helped prepare you as a leader for the future.
Well, you see, sir, Southwest is a community. It is a family that will support you. You could be at Walmart and kids from Legacy know who you are. It's all about the family and community and supporting each other in the Southwest District, and it's amazing here.
We are here with senior Vincent over here at the Southwest High School football team. How are we excited for the upcoming year, man?
I feel like we're going to do really great. I feel like our team's young, but we have a lot of experience because I feel like we're just practicing hard out here and we're just being better every day.
Yeah, and so as a senior on this team, what do you take on as a senior, as a leader for these young guys?
I feel like I need to lead them in a better direction where I want to leave this place better than I left it, so I can just lead them and tell them what to do and learn different things,
Talk to me about the community of Southwest ISD, right? The community that comes out to support you guys, that loves on you guys. A lot of alumni come back to Southwest. What does kind of that community feel like for you? How special is that for you as a student?
It's very special because they come out every single day, even whenever their kids are gone. They support us every single time. They pay for our stuff. They pay for our equipment. They help us with all things,
Yeah, absolutely. All righty. So like your athletic director said, lots to do here at Southwest ISD. Games coming up already. Water polo starting, tennis is going, and I know we have a few things more to talk about before we get out of here.
Last thing I want to player recognitions that we want to
Yes.
do this year. We want to recognize some people. So we're doing water polo from the boys' side today. We got at Southwest Legacy, Coach Monica Fernandez is talking about his name is Junior Nathan Vasquez. Nathan has improved significantly since his first year playing water polo. Last season, he did not know how to tread water, kind of like you, or swim, know somebody else like that, for more than 30 seconds. In the past few weeks, the hard work he put in the offseason has paid off. He is now a starter and an offensive scorer for the Titans. His first 3 goals of the season were against Highlands this past Friday. He had an outstanding performance in the first week of non-district games and continues to show much growth. And then at the Southwest side of things, Coach David Moore says, number 4, Aiden Diaz is the boys' player of the week. Last year, Aiden was voted newcomer of the year for our water polo district. This year, he started off stronger than he left off, scoring 3 of our team's 5 goals in just the first quarter. His defense was already a noticeable asset, and now he's adding a powerful offense to his arsenal. So go Aiden. I know Aiden's a heck of a diver too. So excited about him. And then last week we talked about boys tennis.
Yep.
And so I got the girls side today. So let's talk about girls tennis at Southwest. We're going to talk about the player of the week being Lucero Alvarado. She is a senior who has played every year of her high school career. Lucero is a great doubles player who has won the JV district tournament for her freshman year and made the varsity regional tournament during her sophomore and junior years. She worked very hard this summer to improve and has made great strides. She picked up big wins in singles and doubles last week over Veterans Memorial, Marshall, and Holmes. She sets the bar high for herself and her teammates and is ready to have a strong senior season and bring us to a 4th playoff appearance in a row. She hopes to play tennis in college and will do what she needs to get help to help get. She will do what she needs to help get her there. Struggling by reading a little bit today.
Like
she is a leader both on the tennis court and in the classroom, and I know she's she's also a Dragon Warrior as well.
Oh, nice.
All right, last one. Got to switch mediums here real quick.
Switch medium, sir. Wow.
Switching mediums.
While we're doing that, again, this episode is sponsored by Read Across America for Peter Wagner.
That's funny. All right. So, last one. Coach Gomez, girls tennis. It is Monica Wilson. In her freshman year, Monica dominated junior varsity tournaments across San Antonio this year. She's poised to fight at Southwest Legacy's #1 position in team tennis. Against John Jay last week, Monica won her mixed doubles match 6-4, 6-2, and cruised through her singles match 6-0, 6-1.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Smoked them. Last Thursday against Taft, Monica won her mixed doubles match 6-0, 6-0, and decidedly won her singles match 6-0, 6-1.
Hey, Monica, have a day.
Way to go, Monica. Monica's out there just taking names, man.
This is
like,
easy
here you
money.
go. So congratulations. Like I said, great things happening at Southwest ISD in athletics, but especially in water polo and tennis. Great job by our coaches, our parents, and trainers, and everybody else. So
yeah. So before we get into to taking out the show, I had one more question for you, Coach. So with that, last year I know we had a certain expectation for you thought the talent was there to make a lot of playoff appearances for both schools. Is the same expectation kind of there where you think we have enough talent on both sides where you're expecting a lot of teams to be competing either, district titles or playoffs, wherever it may be, but you're expecting us to be playing at the next level?
Well, I think the first thing is my expectations are for our coaches to be transformational leaders. And so that means that we're really working with our kids to become great adults like yourself. And that's really what we're working towards.
The one compliment I get a year. Right? Here we go.
And that's after you were making fun of me.
Go ahead. So yes.
Anyway, so yeah, that's most important. And that's what we expect out of our coaches and our kids, and we're really working towards that, and we try to create systems to do that. But with that being said, winning is important. That's why we have scoreboards. If it wasn't, it wouldn't be. Why would we do what we do, right? That's the idea of competition. And so yes, I think that like I talked about volleyball at Legacy, and I talked about volleyball at Southwest and those different things. And I mean, obviously the expectation is where it's at when it comes to Southwest ISD football.
Yep.
And where we're at and things. So yeah, I think that is the expectation, that we compete well, and we complete with class, but that I think that we have a great coaching staff, we have great parents, we have great kids and communities that we expect to compete at a high level, and where that gets us. We don't have control over winning and losing necessarily because you don't have control over the other
Right.
team. But I think that with our coaches, how well our coaches prepare our kids, the kind of relationships they develop, the kind
Right.
of support we get from Dr. Ball and senior staff to our principals to our teachers
Mhm.
and everybody else, that we put our coaches and our kids in a place that hopefully they can be the best they can be, and if their very best is good enough to win and make it to the playoffs, I think that we put them in those positions. And so, yeah, I think
Absolutely.
so.
Well, and if you listened last year at all to any of the podcasts, all we talked about constantly last year, especially with you, coach, and a few other coaches, and even with Chief and a few of our special guests, it was constantly about. It starts at the elementary level from what you guys are doing. It trickles down to the middle school level, and from everything we've been hearing, is the talent is very young, right? The
Mhm.
talent is the younger generation coming up. We're 1 year now ahead. That younger generation's only getting older, only getting more experienced. So there might be some sports that might, if not this year, next year, will be getting flipped on its head where maybe they were a struggling program or kind of had to fight tooth and nail that are going to become very dominant
Yeah.
over next few seasons. Are going to become very much apparent as the new big thing in Southwest ISD.
Yeah.
It started with cross country,
Yeah.
right? We saw that happen last year where it hadn't been done yet, where people were going to state and going to play. I mean, it was just it seemed like everybody at Legacy was just doing something crazy in cross country. It's gonna start. We're gonna start seeing that at water polo. We're gonna start seeing that for sure in softball. Both teams were super, super young.
Yep.
Volleyball, same thing. So I think this is gonna be a great season to make or break, as far as not even make or break, just to mold this young core and see what they can do, because all we've talked about is the freshmen and sophomores going into the
I'll
years.
say this. I'll say that in football, the Dragons they have a young core. If their offensive line can put it together, that they might be. They're a year from being really special, but that could be interesting.
Yeah.
And then and Legacy's always. I mean, I watched them put a drive on Vets Memorial the last drive of their scrimmage last week. They had the ball in a live quarter for. They literally started with 12 minutes. They gave it back to them with 2 minutes and like 14
Oh my gosh.
seconds. They kept it for 10 minutes on offense. And that's the kind of stuff that we do. I mean, that's grinding out, doing the right thing, executing, getting it done, and that's how you win games. And so, excited about those programs. But I'll tell you, always you got to watch out for Southwest softball. You got to watch out for Titan boys basketball, things like that. But the Dragons boys basketball team it might be where you think we had a kid move in from Stevens, and then you got Trey Martin coming back.
Yep.
And they got some young guys. AJ Franco had a good summer. You got Jude there's some football players in there that had good summers on the basketball court too. And
Is that your sleeper pick? That's your sleeper pick
I
right
don't
there?
know
the
how
Jack-
much of a sleeper they're going to be. I mean, they in summer league, which you can't take you can got to take summer league with a grain of salt, but you're talking about they're playing with like the big guys. They're playing with like Wagner. They beat Wagner. They're playing with Brennan. They're playing with some big dudes and
Yeah.
stuff. And if you look at their Twitter stuff, man, I saw one at San Antonio Christian. They turned around and threw an alley oop. I watched them throw down 2 alley oops.
Oh yeah.
And stuff. I mean, like we're going back to some days where the Kendrick Robinson type
Yeah.
days of what the kind of basketball they're playing right now a little bit. Expectations are like cuss words. You know what I mean? They're rough on people. It's just like potential. But it could be some fun times at Southwest ISD and athletics this year.
Absolutely. And with that, we will let you get back to your day. Thank you for joining us for this show. We hope you have a wonderful weekend. Again, look out for all the Beyond the Arches, highlighting all of our students and activities. We have football this week and next week, training programs the next 2 weeks after. So we're really excited. Go support your local SWISD sports teams, whether it's going to be tennis, whether it's football, whether it's water polo, whether it's soccer later on in the year, baseball, softball, basketball, whatever it is. Go support these students' work. Their tell off to not only be athletes, but also students first and foremost. And we want to support them, and we will be highlighting more of them and hopefully getting a few on the show, or at least a few audio clips from each one to make sure we can continue to highlight them. But thank you for listening. Your listens really help the show go a long way. Make sure to listen on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, Amazon, YouTube, wherever you can find podcasts. That's going to do it, though. I am Brandon Medina. That's your athletic director, Peter Wagner. If you got any thing to say about being upset up with something, hit him up. His number is no, I'm playing. But with that, thank
We
you.
do want some feedback.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
We want more people to listen.
Yes. Give us some feedback. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the show, rate the show. Give us all your comments on Mr. Wagner's reading and, my swimming ability, your athletic ability. It's not there. So feel free. We love it. We appreciate you listening. This is Scoreboard. And as always, we are
Southwest.